We got coffee, Baja Blast, non-alcoholic beer. We're killing it.
Mix it all together.
You got
disgusting drink. All right. Hello and welcome to King Lou DnD. This is like session 7, working through the suggested adventures in the 2024 Dungeon Master's Guide, and we are just now wrapping up Minor Troubles and getting into the Winged God. I'm really excited for this one. Before we get into it, we have to thank our wonderful imaginary sponsors that give us imaginary money that help us fuel our imaginations. And so they are Gilded Goose Goods. Whether you're forging legendary weapons, crafting enchanted scrolls, or simply looking for the finest goblets to toast your latest victory, Gilded Goose Goods helps bring our imaginations to life. Steven, what he provides for us is the ad read for this group, Gilded Goose Goods, which he's never read before until this moment where he live performs it for us right now.
Yay!
Sent.
Here we go.
Hit us with it.
Yeehaw.
Take it away. The floor is yours. Spotlight shining.
Gilded Goose Goods, if it's good, it's from the goose. Muscle-laden barbarians, are you tired of sitting down after a long day of bloodthirst, only for the chair beneath you to tap out like a first-level wizard? Does every tavern sigh when you walk in, knowing their furniture is about to face its greatest challenge? Have you been politely asked to just stand at the bar from now on, instead of letting your zealous rages and lack of control of that spectacularly muscle-bound body politely poise on the cushions? Then it's time to introduce your mighty warrior frame to the Berserker's Bottom, the only chair reinforced for the spirit of battle that lives in your every movement. Crafted from a fusion of ironwood, adamantium, battle-tested steel, and the desperate prayers of tavern owners, this impenetrable seat can withstand rages, celebratory table slams, and even the aftermath of a critical success on an arm wrestling match. But don't just take our word for it. Here's what this satisfied customer, Grug the Sitter, Skullcrusher, had to say.
Me sit, chair no break, me cry, 10 out of 10.
And for those who think a normal chair should be fine, let's compare. Regular chair, 1 sit, 1 pile of kindling, 1 very confused carpenter. Berserker's Bottom, 1 sit, 1 lifetime guarantee, 1 very impressed tavern crowd. Even Grug can do that mouth. Whoop. Even Grug can do that math. Very different statement there. Huh? So honor your warrior spirit and get a Berserker's Bottom today, because a true barbarian doesn't hesitate, especially when it comes to dropping into a well-earned seat. Available now in extra large, you sure this is a chair? And Goliath edition. Gilded Goose Goods, we don't ask how you got the gold.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Steven.
For bringing that to life.
Yeah.
So proud.
That's quite a turn at the end.
Yeah.
Even
And-
Drud could do that mouth.
Yeah, oops. He's a versatile guy.
Getting into our session now, we hand it over to Hank Troutman, evaluator extraordinaire, notary of noteworthy notes for the Adventurers Guild. Where to begin? It is not every day that one witnesses such a display of tactical ingenuity, raw courage, and, dare I say, inspired applications of alchemical combustion. I have taken it upon myself to document the harrowing and altogether enlightening encounter for the official records of the Adventurers Guild. We set forth into the Blackstone Mines, knowing that deep within lurked a terror most foul, a hook horror. Its form, a ghastly marriage of insect and nightmare. We approached with care, our every footfall deliberate, and the air was thick with damp, the scent of rock and iron mingling with something more primal, the lingering presence of a beast that did not belong here. Then the first sign, shadows on the ceiling. Not the comforting embrace of a cavernous dark, but something else, shapes shifting and waiting. Suspicion ran high, and so, in the stroke of brilliance, our druid, Joe, assumed the form of a cat.
He's William Shatner.
Joe assumed the form of a feline, a cat, a most observationally inclined species, I might add, and crept forward. It was decided Should we find the creature, we should attempt reason first and steal second. But fate is rarely kind to diplomacy. The creature did not speak, nor did it listen. The hook horror was driven by instinct, not by reason, and its instincts told it to remove us from its domain forcefully. Thus, the second half of our plan was put into motion. What followed was a battle of precision and devastation. The stalactites, sorry, bad, erases that. Struck with deadly purpose, shattered, sending a rain of jagged stone upon the beast, and then dynamite! Oh, what a sight! The cavern shook. Flames and force collided in an explosion that sent a shockwave through the rock itself. The hook horror, though fearsome, was not prepared for such a destructive, brilliant move. It fought. Oh, how it fought! Hook slashed, beak snapped, and yet we endured. Stroke by stroke, not the medical emergency she laughed at earlier, spell by spell, we brought the beast low until with a final cry, it fell, its body still, the cavern silent once more. But our work was not yet finished, for knowledge is power, right? And power is the currency of the guild. Very good. We studied the fallen horror, cataloging its strengths and weaknesses. The thick, chitinous chitinous shell, granting it an armor class of 15, a resilience of flesh, stamina estimated at about 75 hit points, a terrifying array of attacks, 2 deadly hooks, a slicing beak, and an unnerving tenacity. And it had a drive to return home. A revelation most intriguing. Was it hunting? Was it fleeing? And more troubling yet, there were more of them. Had we faltered, more hook horrors would have followed through the tunnels, spilling into the depths beyond. We had not slain a mere beast. We prevented an infestation. And thus our work was complete. For now, I, Hank Troutman, Evaluator Extraordinaire, shall take solace in a well-earned meal and the comforting embrace of my well-inked quill. And we will now join into our session, returning to Blackstone, into the scene of the mayor's office, Crystrid. This modest stone building with a large oak desk cluttered with parchment, the room smelling of old ink and pipe smoke, a roaring hearth providing warmth, casting flickering shadows on the walls. As Mayor Crystrid speaks up, well, if it ain't Blackstone's newest heroes, by Moradin's beard, I didn't think he'd actually pull it off. And she smiles as you all enter the room.
We brought trophies!
Gross! Oh, are you gonna, for me?
A little for you, a little for our, guild.
We could part with a cloth for your mantle.
And she pulls out a little purple satchel and sets that down, and then reaches down into her pocket and throws some extra gold coins into it. I'll take an arm. That sounds good. And then puts the coin purse forward, giving you all 550 gold pieces.
Whoa.
Wow.
We got no more monsters lurking about in our minds, thank the gods. Thank you all for your grim but successful work. And then she takes the claw and kind of shakes it out, and some more fluid drops down, but she lays it across her desk. And thank you all.
We also closed the tunnel.
Oh, good to know. She pulls out a map of her own. Could you point out where it was, and then you can do so. And
I will do so.
great. And then she
With
kind of
my still black, gooey fingerprint, I will put a fingerprint on right where I think it is.
Good to know. We'll keep our eyes out for that.
Look out for the yellow stuff over here, and I'll start moving the goo around the map. Oh, and there are little stalactite guys over here.
Great. Thank you. We'll take care of that. Good to know. Was it alone?
No.
She looks at you expecting more.
But they're all sealed behind the tunnel. And none made it through.
We only fought one of them.
Well, good. Okay. If just the one came through and that's taken care of, thank you. I'm glad it was simple enough and not... well, I'm glad you didn't die.
I will say, though, they're powerful diggers, and there are at least 3 other hook horrors on the other side of the cave we filled in. So it may be worth getting some rebar down there.
Yes, we will reinforce that spot immediately. And then she stands up to go start that job.
She leaves.
Yeah. Great. Then taking over that.
Maybe clear out all the other stuff down there too.
Yes. She has a lot of work to do, and she heads out for that. Working that, then you all get back with your... Hank gets on his donkey, and you all get ready to track your way back to the guild hall with a good, pleasant walk throughout the afternoon.
Did we get a rest?
A short rest that we can sort of just breeze by. Eventually, you'll take your long rest back at the guild hall. And so with that, the hall that you arrive at is alive with activity. Adventurers are coming and going. You can smell stew and ale from the kitchen, and you get the crackling of a grand fireplace. You can see the maps and wanted posters hanging across the walls. A few guild members are pausing their conversations as you all enter, and they see you, and you're a bit bloodied and battle-worn, and you get a couple respectful nods from different adventurers there in the room. You can see Oren Goldleaf across the room, and he's standing near the bar here, and he's watching the party as you enter. He raises one eyebrow and just has a little smirk. Well now, I can't remember his voice at all. This is why I don't do voices. Whatever. Look at who survived. The first... That's not it.
I could tell you
It
that.
could be.
Yeah.
The first real job. You're making quite the impression, you know.
Look what we did! His little tongue.
On the desk.
Cool! And then he, pries open its mouth. His little tongue just comes out. He, pulls it up, and he's, looking around.
Quite the horror, huh?
Quite the hook!
Yeah! She pulled out
Yeah.
the hook. She got the hook.
That too.
And I also hand him a little parchment and say, here are our notes from the battle regarding its tactics and fighting strategies.
I will be sure to update our archives on what you have provided. Oh, that is very amazing. And then Hank speaks up as well. Full recommendations that they be given the exemplary gift.
Oh, Hank, I give him a big hug.
You shouldn't have.
Across all markers, they did very well. And then Oren smiles and shakes Hank's hand and takes some of his notes over. I will look these over. I'm doing your voice. I cannot.
Disinfection.
give me a little bit of Gandalf. Give me a Gandalf for a second.
Whoa!
Play, you fools!
I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Whatever. Okay. A lot of bees. Adding bees. We'll do that now.
Breathier than
Dangerous bows. Wonderful, and thank you for the work that you've done. There it is. That was Morad. Here was the highs and the lows. Full of the talk. Anyway, thank you for your notes, Hank. Hi, Wiggy. That's great. And then he passes forward this blue cloth that's folded over itself, which you all know and expect is to be a cloak of protection. And so a cloak of protection, if I'm not mistaken, it requires atonement. But it can be worn in addition to your armor, and it adds 1 to your armor class, and it adds 1 to all of your saving throws as well. So if anybody would like to claim that amongst the party, typically somebody who is kind of on the squishy end, lower of your armor class, this is a great way to get a higher armor class on lighter armors.
Mine's 12.
Oh, we found the one who will take the cloak of protection.
What's yours?
If you go to your
16.
If you go to your inventory, add items, you can find Cloak of Protection. Go ahead and add that, and you can wear it.
I really misheard attunement and thought you said it requires atonement.
You must seek forgiveness of your sins before you put this blue cloth on.
You said you added it, or I need to find
You
it?
need to find it and add it.
I mean, you can wear heavy. What do you wear?
What was it called?
What am I
Cloak
wearing?
of Protection.
Because you could go heavy, but you're a dex fighter, so you want to stay medium.
In addition to that, because you provided the notes and the information that you did, you get an additional 150 gold. Bring,
650.
you get 550, 650, 700 gold.
Oh. Look at us.
Cloak of Protection, 150 gold.
Yes. Yep. And then he encourages you all to rest up and enjoy, the guild hall for a place to rest and a meal, and then encourages you all in the morning to seek out the shop And then after seeking the shop, he has information on your next job. And in doing so, he goes, his voice, forgive me for not having such a good memory on voices.
I think it was like that. Oh.
Oh my god, they're all the buttons!
Dangerous foes, those, but it's just the start. You're proving that you can handle real threats. Speaking of threats, we might have something else for you. Ever hear of the Winged God?
No.
I've heard of many gods.
Is that a ho-oh?
Are you speaking of Bahamut?
No, not at all. Some caravan routes are getting hit by kobolds, though. Nothing new, right? But the odd thing is, they're praying while they do it. That they're begging for something, and rumor has it, there's a new player in the region. Perhaps a dragon.
Right, danger dragons are.
Interested?
Don't take my voice again. Quite interesting. The prayer is an interesting component here.
Yes! Well, go and rest and see the guild shop. Prepare yourselves for your next job, and I'll have more information later.
Rightio.
Should not have told you that. Should not have told you that.
Always wanted to kill a dragon.
Nice.
Norbert.
Now we have a chance.
Alright, go ahead and take your long rest and level up.
Yay! Beep, bop, boop,
And then,
beep, bop.
in no particular order, if y'all could just go ahead and give updates on what your new abilities are.
Yeah. I'll go first. Mine's really easy. I gained 2 more invocations because I multi-class, so I am a little bit behind on the power curve scale. But what did I gain? I gained false life, which gives me temporary hit points, which is nice. And then I gained agonizing blast, which adds my charisma mod to Eldritch Blast, so I can be a little bit more of a ranged threat, not hit ones anymore. That'll be nice. And that's it. I gained a spell, but
There we go.
Not a big one. It's alright.
There we go. There we go. I
Hellish rebuke people now.
Yes, Alja?
So I really all that changed is that I entered a druid subclass, Circle of the Land. Circle of the Land gives me some spells. The spells that I selected were Shocking Grasp, which is really a cantrip, Sleep, and then Misty Step. And now to not clear, do I just automatically have these, or do I just have to add them into?
Those ones are automatically given to you.
Right,
Yeah.
they're just kind of built in. So, Misty Step helps me kind of move sort of stealthily, I guess. Briefly surrounded by silvery mist, you teleport to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. So it's a way to kind of get around quickly. Sleep puts people to sleep if they don't pass the test, pass the roll. Shocking Grasp electrocutes people. And then I think what is really cool is I have this ability, Land's Aid, where I create in a certain area a mixture of healing flowers and harming thorns. And so I can simultaneously damage an enemy and heal a friend
Oh yeah.
in like a
That's
specific
new.
area.
Simultaneously,
Well,
or you have
Yeah,
to choose?
it
one or two?
it's at the same time. Like it creates thorns and flowers.
Hmm.
And
Right.
so if you're an enemy, you get hurt, and if you're a friend, well, I have to pick one person, but one person gets the health,
Yeah.
Oh cool.
and then the
So
enemies take
you'll be able
damage.
to kind of like
That's
therapist
super
a
cool.
little.
A little bit, yeah.
I bet. That'd be nice.
Cool.
It's not a total, it's a healing or hurt.
Oh, and I didn't say this, but I have a general trait that says I'm a natural athlete. I just thought I'd done that. That's like been the case the whole time. So.
Yeah.
You're like a total land bro.
Yeah, it's like kind of whatever.
It's gnarly.
Yeah.
You're just like out there in the lands.
Yeah.
Solo, what did you get?
With the flowers.
Solo got 2 spells. He got Shield, which is an invisible barrier that I can cast on myself that gives me +5 bonus to AC until my next turn, which is good if I'm surrounded by things. And then I got Thunder Wave, where thunder sweeps out for me in a 15-foot cube. It does 2d8 damage and moves things back. And it's audible for 300 feet, so I have to be careful. not using that when I don't want to. And then I also got a weapon that I can build, the Eldritch Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eldritch Cannon has a... Oh, it has a flamethrower too? Yeah, it has a flamethrower, a force ballista, and a protector that does 2d8 of fire or force damage or 1d8 hit points. Oh, and my intelligence modifier. But it can move around, and it's a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
So I build it, and I can send it out to fight for me.
Yep. You know,
and do an action.
just to clarify, because I'm not sure, maybe we can look into this more, but like it's one thing. You don't have to build one of those three, right? And then on its turn, you can choose if you want to heal with it, if you want to use fire damage or force damage with it.
I believe that is correct.
I think the force damage is like a one target hit. I think the flamethrower is more like an AoE. You can hit many things with it, or you can heal.
Each creature in a 15-foot cone.
Yeah.
You have to build it during combat?
No,
Just
the-
after a long
Yeah.
rest, and then I'll just bring it with me.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like Iron Man.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Cool.
Excited for that one.
All right,
Cool.
and then we've got Mio.
Yes. Okay. So my fighter subclass that I chose is Battlemaster. And Battlemaster, what it does is it gives me 4 special dice that I can use to do additional maneuvers during my turn. They're called superiority dice.
Mhm.
And it also gave me, I'm a student of war, meaning I can use multiple different tools, proficiencies, and weapons. Do you want to know the maneuvers that I picked, or?
Yes.
Did you decide?
I think so.
Okay.
I may change one of them, but
Sure.
the first one is riposte.
Mhm.
So when a creature misses me with a melee attack, I can react and expend one of my dice
Mhm.
to react with an attack back.
Yeah.
The precision attack is the second one.
Yes.
So when I miss with an attack roll, I can expend one of my 4 dice. I roll it, and then I add that to the attack roll, potentially. So my superiority dice are D8s. So I can basically add a D8 to my attack roll and potentially make it a hit. And then lastly, this is one I might change, parry. So when another creature damages me with a melee attack roll, I can react and expend one of my dice to reduce the damage by that number.
Yeah. And you
plus
can-
my strength or dexterity modifier.
Nice. Okay.
So
And
it's
you would
plus
get
4.
one more, right? You do get 4.
No, I just have 3.
You just get 3. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And you might change out parry. Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
So we'll see.
That's awesome. So we're now level 3 based on the new 2024 Player's Handbook rules, and we're good to go. So kicking us off in the morning, you wake up, you have a nice breakfast down in the guild hall, and it's pretty chill. Nobody else is really in the room. But you recognize that when you all are ready, you can head over to the guild shop, and that so you make your way. You go over and do that. You go up to the guild shop, and the counter is empty, and there's nobody there. But eventually, one of you steps up towards the counter, and then in a large magical whoosh behind the counter, it's just this swirl of a portal where you see a man in a normal robe of simply, he was probably at his own table eating breakfast. And he's pantomiming eating cereal with a spoon, but there is no bowl, there is no chair, and there is no spoon. And then he just looks up at you all annoyingly as if you've just interrupted his meal as he's been summoned here. Steven, this is your shopkeep that you can just run with.
What do you want?
1,000 apologies, sir. We didn't know that would happen.
Tired of having your breakfast interrupted? I know I am.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Definitely tired of that. Well, we were hoping to peruse your shop.
Well, what are you interested in getting?
Anything of note? Magical, perhaps, we could look at?
This
Yes.
whole shop is one big note.
It is a note in my notes. So, for magical weapons, we do have a bit of options here. So if you're interested in one, let us know. These are going to be slightly enchanted weapons. They have an additional ability to them. There's one called the Emberbrand Longsword for 275 gold. It's a +1 longsword, and it does have an additional effect where once per long rest, you can add 1d4 fire damage to an attack. It's warm to the touch, faint little fiery embers flickering along the edge when you draw it. There's a +1 dagger called the Frostbite dagger, 225 gold. I can repeat all of this. Don't stress about getting all the notes and everything down. But it's all cold damage. It's all cold damage. It's +1 damage, and as a bonus action, if you throw it, you can make it return to your hand. There's a war hammer that has a little electric crackle to it, and in a 10-foot radius, you can use a when you land a critical hit, it deals 1d6 thunder damage in a 10-foot radius to creatures within range as well, enemy creatures specifically.
So it doesn't hit allies.
Correct.
Okay.
There is a +1 short bow, and you gain advantage on stealth checks while using this bow to attack from hiding. There is +1 leather armor that does let you teleport up to 30 feet once per long rest in a dimly lit space. Rachel, you've had an ability like that when you were playing your Batman character.
I loved it.
Yes. So that is the Shadow Step leather armor. There is a +1 shield, and you can use a reaction to impose disadvantage on an attack roll against you or an ally within 5 feet once per long rest. And then there's going to be like chain shirt, scale mail, breastplate, half plate, ring mail, chain mail, splint armor, and a shield regularly as well. But those are the magical enchanted ones. If you're interested in any of those, you have 700 gold to spend. Those weapons generally that I was talking about cost anywhere between 225 to 300 gold. So we can maybe get 2 of those in a piece of armor. I think we might be looking at maybe just 2 items, I think, based on costs. But
We have a wide variety of weapons. This hammer would be great for that guy. He looks like a natural athlete.
Thank you.
Steam starts coming out of Steve's ears.
Are you gonna use the hammer? If you
Oh, I don't want the hammer. I'll take the compliment, though.
Oh, he's very kind to you. Have you
He
guys
was.
met? before?
We've never met before.
I guess that's just your.
Tired of being asked stupid questions.
Me too.
I know I am.
How much was the leather armor?
the leather armor was 275 gold pieces.
275 gold ones, madame.
Do you have any heavy armor that's better than chainmail?
Boy, have I.
Splint armor.
Splint armor.
17.
It is 17.
That'd be a +1 AC for me. How much is that?
350 gold.
More than the leather armor. It's expensive to wear heavy armor. That's something.
Well, what else do we?
I don't think we need anything else. I don't need anything.
Do we need some health potions? Probably
Yeah, health potions are on the menu for 50 gold.
50 gold.
Yeah.
275 and 350.
Yeah, never
What?
bet
That's 625.
That
They took the
is
Warhammer
a good
and-
question.
Would I be able to retroactively say that on my level up, I changed my, every level up I can change my weapons I mastered.
What about that? Don't you? There's a longsword, like your kind of your vibe.
No, I have my masteries right now are my greatsword, and the second one I chose was trident, but we haven't really had to worry about that. But I can switch one of them every time I level up.
There's between a longsword and a greatsword.
Greatswords are like
D8 or D10 damage. A great
Also
sword is
stat.
big. Longswords are like regular longswords. Greatswords would be like think of that like stupid. Okay.
Two-handed swords.
There you go.
How much was that
That's
heavy
like
plate?
Like a Final Fantasy sword.
the heavy plate on its own is
Like
350
a
gold.
claymore.
It's 625 for
big.
both of the armors, so we can do that. And then, how much was the potions? 25 or 50?
50 piece.
Let's do one of
See
those.
that?
Is anyone good at persuasion? Wants to try and negotiate?
Is the
Don't worry, my breakfast is getting cold.
How much was the hammer?
my
The
persuasion's
hammer was 300 gold.
Okay.
So you can get the armor, that would be more beneficial.
The armor would be +1 AC, which is always good. The hammer is only the effect, or is it also +1?
It's also +1.
Do you
That's
accept
more damage.
layaway?
+1.
Wait, no way!
+1 weapons are really good because you can.
I think I've tried it for
I mean, that'd be
it's-
cheaper.
It's +1 to hit and +1 damage.
Yeah.
So it's +1.
We'd be at
It's
575.
like getting a stat increase for free. It's pretty nice.
We get the armor and that 575, and then 2 healing potions.
Could we also just do a quick, like, if you have magical items or anything already? I can't remember who bought what before.
I just got that
We
rogue
did
thing.
the sending stones,
Mm-hmm.
and then he has the robe.
Okay.
That's it.
I thought I got something.
Yeah. You had your staff of flowers.
You
Well,
do. Is that?
It doesn't
No.
have any.
Didn't I thought I got
You
the special
won.
knife. Didn't I get a special knife?
Also,
+1 dagger, maybe?
Plus 1 dagger?
Oh,
Yeah.
someone
an
had a
axe.
plus one
Did we want an
dagger.
axe? In the game?
I got plus 1
No,
dagger.
remember I gave back
that you
that.
bought.
Oh, I have the goblet.
You do have the goblet, that's right.
Yes, that's
You
right.
You can sell the
We
goblet.
forgot about
What?
whatever they gave
Could
me.
sell or trade the goblet. That would.
Do you want
work.
to sell that, and then you could, depending on how much it is, get
Get your stupid butt out.
Dear merchant of
Gilderoy
fame
Lockhart.
and glory,
Yep, it's me. I'm still here.
how would you be interested in a rare find? I have this
Is it rarer than a warm breakfast?
cup. And this is not a mere cup of insignificance that I got from the bar. This is a magic cup.
Roll persuasion, you have to beat a 42.
This cup, if drank from, imbues the drinker with magical resistances that are untold.
Go ahead and roll a
They're-
persuasion
they
check.
are told, but
I'll defer to the puppet master who rules me.
Roll a persuasion check.
19
You can trade it
Plus,
for another.
heck
Trade it.
plus whatever bonuses, but there you go.
over 20.
Trade it for what?
One of the weapons or items.
Okay.
Just like one for one.
Trade this for that armor you wanted to give out. What was that? That was the more expensive one, right?
The splint armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The splint armor you have. Not magical. This is very magical. Much more rare.
That seems like a reasonable trade. I can't wait to fill this cup with things.
And then I'm gonna take the armor off the shelf
Mm-hmm.
and pass it over.
Cool.
And then I take your cup and I
Good
unhinge my jaw
trade.
like a snake and I throw it down my hole.
You can add
My
splint.
mouth is what some people call that, I guess.
You can add splint armor.
Okay. So we trade goblet
For split armor.
Split armor.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
So
want to
still
buy your
have-
leather?
I was gonna ask what is the armor?
It's a +1 leather armor.
So it adds 1 regardless of what my AC is. Or how does that work?
Yeah, so you can look up leather armor +1, and let me hold on. I can pull up this. actual
I
stats.
still want the shadow step. That would be really
Yes.
helpful.
No, that
So
100% comes with
regardless,
it.
I think
I need to
yeah,
create the item so that
that's
you can.
good with you.
I wasn't going to create the items until y'all bought them, because I wasn't going to create like a dozen items so that you would
Okay.
then have them. But
Would
leather
love
armor,
to get the extra AC if I can.
leather armor originally is 11 plus your dex mod. This is going to be +1, so it's 12 plus your dex mod.
So I already have 12 studded leather armor, so that won't add anything to my AC.
What's your current armor class?
16.
16. Okay, so yeah, I don't think your armor class will go up because studded leather armor and +1 leather armor are going to be the same, but you would then get the ability.
It's not nothing, but it's expensive. So
Yeah.
for
I don't know. I really wanted the AC.
yeah.
I don't know. What do y'all think?
I don't think it's as important, but if there's nothing,
We
to
haven't
buy,
spent
I will
Yeah.
say, I mean, you have a lot of practical moves that I think,
Yeah, the shadow step would be great with ninjaing.
yeah.
Like getting behind people?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can see it both ways because also, on a very practical level, it's always just nicer to be harder to hit. So, like, the AC is a good thing. And some of those moves that would pair well with the stealthy armor also, like, still give you a really good edge that not having stealth.
Will you use it to escape?
I don't know. Depends how Dan makes it.
It
Yes.
would be teleporting, so yeah, you wouldn't take like an attack of opportunity.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I think for my character, it would
Yeah.
be worth it.
Do it.
The tactics.
It's less than 300, so we still have,
Okay.
what, 425?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever added that thing to my inventory.
Minus 275. Okay. What else do we need? Or does anyone want?
I don't need anything.
The only thing you need is to hurry up.
Oh, can I sell my chainmail back to you? my chainmail is my old armor.
Oh, no.
Don't you want to take this old chainmail off my back?
It looks like it's crusty with your blood.
No, that's black blood. I am red blooded.
Can
Blue
we
blood.
test that out? I have an array of knives here on the wall.
Oh,
You
don't
bought
you have prestidigitation?
the armor was 275 gold.
I try to kill each roll for
We have 425 left. Do you want to get like 4
I have-
potions?
I have leftover chainmail.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trade that for a potion or two?
Chain mail.
Yeah. This listed as 75 gold points.
Yeah, he'd trade it for a potion.
That's a loss on my part.
Yes, it is.
Can
Well,
I
otherwise you'd
can
get
I
nothing
my
for it.
change?
You want to know what's a loss on my part? This conversation.
And the cold oatmeal back home.
How
Like,
about,
gold,
how about
gold
this
oats.
chainmail for a potion and 30 gold? Since we're such good friends.
Oh! Wow! Would you like the potion or nothing?
Fine. I'll take it for
That's a deal.
Then I take the chainmail with, you know,
Drop it
drop
into a
on the
bucket.
floor. Yeah, bucket. And then potions.
I'll add a potion to my
Finn trades 1 potion. Okay, so do we want to get like 4 potions, 1 for each of us? We have 425 left. There was the
Sure,
Emperor
that's 200.
longsword,
I-
dagger.
I didn't spend money on that. Just
Right, so we
She
have
bought the
425
okay.
left total.
Okay.
So 150 on potions for each of us.
We're gonna walk out of this shop and he's just in his underwear after trading everything he's ever owned for the sake of it.
I have some fine clothes that I wear on our daily expeditions.
That's true.
I look
Yeah,
nice.
there's still a shield, a short bow.
Look
a
good.
war-
Okay.
There's still a shield, a short
Press
bow.
these in the morning.
We have
Guys,
enough to get
trying to-
2 for each of us. Each have 2 health potions.
Yeah.
And still have like.
Maybe get one more item.
Is there any
75.
point in saving gold for
Yeah, this
something in the
spend money
future
to make money.
that could be
Maybe.
more expensive?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean the shop keeps getting like updated every time you come back. So
If we buy 2 for each person, that would be 350,
Mhm.
which means that we would have 75 gold left. We could save that
That's fine.
for next time. How do y'all feel about that?
Yeah.
Any of the other
Yeah, I would like to save
weapons
some
that we
money.
interrupted Dan reading that we want?
I love the idea of a good potion. It'll certainly be faster than my berries.
Okay, so we'll pay the 350 for, so that's 2, 2, 2, 1
Mhm.
to add to
Mhm.
your other one. So we each should have 2.
Well, I'll be darned. I finally made some money.
Do we add those to our?
yeah, you can add 2 healing potions to your inventory each. A total of 2 each.
Yeah,
So
let's
we
not,
need to-
let's not even bother with the hammer. Healing? I was gonna try to look up what the hammer master even does. But probably not as good as cleave or cleave. You know. Whatever it's called.
What are you saying?
Is it potion of healing?
Yeah. Yeah. If you go to add items and just click on potion, it's like the third item.
It's push for the warhammer, and so you, whenever you hit a creature with push, they move 10 feet away in a straight line.
That's boring. I want my 3 damage on a miss. Even if it is +1 to hit. The AoE sounded kind of fun though. Whenever I started collecting names for this sword, I can get rid of it.
All right, so we're settled on the shop. Moving back through the guild hall, again, now bustling with life after you came back from the shop, mugs clinking, dice rolling, and the occasional shout of triumph from the sparring pit over to the side. The warm glow of the hearth flickers against the banners hanging from the rafters. Orin Goldleaf sits in a corner booth and waves you all over, a glass of a deep amber liquid in his hand, even though it is early in the morning. As the party approaches, he flashes he flashes a sharp grin. I was hoping you'd come by. Word is what was that? He's like a southern cowboy.
Wildly!
Gosh!
I'll send you by.
No, that's a choice. That's an interesting choice.
I'm so in my head about it now. I cannot do it. I was hoping you'd come by. Word is spreading that you're the real deal, which means I've got a little something for you.
Where's Orin?
Yeah, what'd you do with the Lord?
Anyway, he leans in with a bit of a whisper now. Caravans are heading.
A man has many faces.
Alright, I will stop doing this other, and I'm cracking myself up. Caravans are heading east to the Cairn Hills. They're getting hit hard, not by bandits, but by these kobolds. But these aren't your usual sniveling scavengers. They're fighting like zealots. They're chanting, and according to the survivors, they're praying to something they call the Winged God. And he swirls his apple juice, thinking.
Whoa.
What you thinking about there, partner?
The kobolds I just told you about. It's a very interesting predicament.
What do I know about kobolds? The insight?
You know a lot about them. I think what you would normally,
Okay.
commonly know about them.
Usually, they only get that zealous when they're, under a master like a dragon or some beast.
Are kobolds like goblins and
Yeah.
it's something we'd all know about?
Mhm.
We all know like kobolds?
One time you were frolicking,
Kobolds
and
are
then
like-
a flock of
little,
kobolds.
set upon.
Almost like little rat goblins.
Yeah, they're like little lizard men.
Lizards,
They're,
so,
like,
yeah.
they're
like-
dragon kin, basically.
They're like little lizard, goblin lizards.
They're like
Oh, so
Dragon men.
U.S. congressmen. Interesting. Good to know.
Gorsh! A few rumors say there's something new out there. Maybe a dragon, like you were saying, is what most people are landing on. And if that's true, it's probably a young one, but even a young dragon can really shake things up fast.
I'm ready to
How far from the city is it?
destroy this dragon.
Most interactions have happened actually on the road outside of the city, but you should head towards the Rusty Anvil Tavern here in town. There's a guy named Nandi Bardux who took a hit on his last shipment. He lost some cargo and lost some gold. He's the one who's looking to set this up, so he's given the guild some money to pay you for this job. He'll probably have more details.
Sounds like we better talk to this Nandi guy as quick as possible to make sure that no future merchants lose their shipments.
Agreed.
We head over.
We shall protect this caravaner and this city.
Well,
For we are the Hawks of Grey,
Why?
the Knights of Hawk,
Why?
we need a name already. Dang it.
Hank's boys.
We are Hank and the Boys.
yes, I like that one. Hank and the boys. And then he looks over at Lady Mio and he's like,
Lady Mia.
Hank and the Boys and Lady
Hank and crew.
Yeah.
Hank and
Hank and Co. Hanky Co.
Hanko.
Hanko.
Hanko Penko.
Hanko.
Hanko Penko.
Cool.
And a little bit of Spenko.
Maybe not. Hanko. That was the merchant leaning in through the window and then popping back out.
TM.
Careful, I'm gonna have to give you a bar of soap for that. No.
Only if it's for free.
I'm gone.
Does he teleport away?
We had to see
He's
Nandi.
ripping open the fabric of space-time.
Let's keep thinking on it. And then, heading out towards the Rusty Anvil, you see a chaotic but dimly lit tavern. And at this point in the afternoon, as he took some time to rest up, get ready, and find the place, there's a clash of tankards and the roar of conversation, the smell of ale, pipe smoke, and roasted meats thickening the air. A bard is plucking at a lute. Most people are ignoring him. You all feel a pang of sadness, but then you move on, because in a far corner, a round-bellied man in a fine but slightly torn vest is sitting, nervously tapping his fingers on the table, eyes darting around towards the door. And as you enter and approach, you can only assume it's Nandi as his eyes widen, and he motions you all over hastily. Ah, you must be one of the ones Orin sent. And then Hank just looks over at him with quizzical eyes. Praise Timora. I thought I'd be struck hiring common thugs. And then Hank just really confused that this guy's voice sounds so similar to his. He glances around, lowering his voice. It's a nightmare out there. My last shipment gone. Kobolds, the nasty little beasts, swarmed my wagons like demons. And they weren't just robbing us. They were chanting and bowing and calling out to some winged god. And they killed some of my merchants there, and they praised their death like they were sacrifices.
Oh my. Grim.
Very zealous. What did they get from you?
Well, they took all of our supplies, which was some ale and drink for the tavern, some raw meats, and some new cloths and silverware, and then he just keeps running through a long inventory thing after thing. But then eventually, I can't afford a loss like that, but if you're looking for a bigger payday, there is more to this than just what I've given the guild.
Oh.
What's
You
that?
holding out on us, pal?
I mean, I just am thinking about it. Where there's kobolds in this behavior, if it is a dragon, well, it's probably hoarding some gold and some. I mean, it stole my stuff. It's got other people's stuff, and it'd be all yours.
That it would. Color me intrigued.
Did these kobolds, I don't know how many kobolds you've seen in your day, would you say they seemed like they were, beyond the praying of course, acting of their own mind? Did they seem perhaps enchanted or in any other way abnormal to other kobolds you may have seen?
I didn't notice anything strange about their behavior except their what they were chanting and saying and doing. They seemed to be acting on their own accord and mind.
Perhaps we could trick them.
Stage a caravan of our own?
That would be fine for baiting them out. But
Well,
we
I
could
do have
also...
another shipment, and I was hoping that you all could help guard. On the roadside was a shrine nearby that they were particularly around, that maybe we could get that far and you all could take some time looking around that shrine, see if there's anything of note.
That sounds like the spot.
Yeah.
do agree.
Is it nighttime right now?
Afternoon.
Yes. Oh.
Use your imagination, Michael, it's noon.
We shoot these at 6 a.m. every day.
Every
Very black accurate.
how many of these kobolds were there?
Oh, they were moving so fast, but I think there was maybe 5, 6, 7 of them.
Oh, easy pickings for the like of us.
Oh, as you all scoff. Then he's just,
Oh, you were skilled.
Oh, the Winkle baby's getting a kobold.
You know, I have the same voice as that guy, and he points at Hank, who's just writing notes and
No,
looking
no,
super
it's
nerdy.
Hey, you be nice to Dad.
Okay.
Daddy and the
5
Hank
kobolds.
boys.
Oh dear.
Daddy and the Hank boys. Hank and Dad's boys.
The
We'll
good
workshop
old hankaroos.
Mm.
Hankapoos.
Hank attack.
We would need
Hank
to
attacks.
try and follow them to find the dragon, correct?
So let's let one get away. But we can always just track their
Perhaps we will.
tracks back to their camp.
Perhaps a certain feline friend will follow the kobolds when the time comes.
Do you know anything about this shrine that is in the area? To which god was it?
It was to some traveler's god. I'm not particularly familiar or care too much myself, but they seem to have defaced it and added some form of like writing and markings to it too. So who knows what it says or is set apart for now.
Do any of us speak Draconic?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't think I do.
Sadly not. I took the gnomish elective in school. It wasn't very useful.
What is that?
Or was it? I say
Proficiency
Spanish.
Yo
Just
no
easier,
comprendo Draconico.
Hank, who sounds so much like this other guy, is now going to speak. I can do a little bit of reading. It might not be perfect, but if none of y'all know it, I can maybe get a little bit out of if there's Draconic.
I can cast a spell to comprehend languages.
Oh, well,
Wonderful.
that would have been helpful in school.
To be
Excellent.
magical.
So, I can just get that one up in the old chamber when the time comes.
If need be.
If need be.
We could see if he'll do it for free.
We can see if we can do it for.
What? I'm sorry.
I'm just repeating everything he's saying.
Do what for free? I kind of zoned out on that one.
Well, I was saying, like, he doesn't have to cast a spell.
Oh.
Hank will just read it.
Oh, right. But depending on how good Hank is at doing
Yeah,
it.
but Hank's our
I want to see what Hank will say.
Yeah.
our what am I trying to say?
Right, friend.
Supervisor.
Evaluator. Yeah.
Evaluator.
Yeah. So if you rely on him, it might be less
Might
marks.
not
Yeah.
points.
Not look great.
Hank, don't help. Don't
We
look
obviously know Hank can single-handedly end any foe in the face.
Well, speaking of, I did buy this, and then he turns around and kind of pulls out this giant 10-foot long stick, the staff, and he goes, the salesman at the guild said that this thing has 38 different uses, and I'm so excited I can defend myself a little bit better in case things get...
Hard cut to to his home. With his open.
Well, you hold on to that real tight, Hank.
I plan to. That's what he told me to do.
Yes. Herschel, it'll help your posture at least.
I have noticed. He's doing little squats on the spot.
Look at him. He'll be a fighter in no day. No time at all.
Who needs that when you have magic? Oh.
I hold out my staff with flowers and a little.
Anyway,
Yeah. Anyways.
All right, well, let's catch us some kobolds. Or follow them.
Let's catch
Let's.
a lizard.
After a couple hours and a lunch, you all get ready with Nandi. What was his name? Nandi.
Nandi.
And hit the road.
Nandi Bundy.
And having a caravan at your sides and him being led down the road, you can see off to the side a shrine, this aged stone structure carved into the hillside. You can see crude kobold claw marks and scratches at its side, and you can see new symbols in red and black are scrawled across its surface. The wind is whistling through the cracks in the stone of the mountainside around you, and it's carrying the distant rustle of some perhaps unseen creatures, or at least the rustle of leaves throughout the bushes. And we will continue next time with this scene at the shrine.
Find out who Russell is.